Hey, and welcome to Breaking Bread, hosted by me, Crunk Chocolate, a show where we break verbal bread with a quote-unquote enemy. Whenever Manchester City has an upcoming match, I will be here having a conversation with a supporter of City's upcoming opponent. Shout out to all you amazing people on Patreon. To get this full episode, you can be a $3 or a $6 tier. We share our match previews to everyone. If you're watching on YouTube and you're just enjoying the first 10-ish minutes, if you're listening on a podcasting app, the first 10-ish minutes, still rate, review, like, subscribe, leave a comment. But really, you should treat yourself to our Patreon subscription. We have at least 2 extra episodes a week, ad-free for you. And we cover Man City, men and women. So there's always something amazing for you. You can go back. We have fantastic episodes with the 93-20 people, Charles Plantain, Steph Houghton, Derek Ray. There's so many amazing episodes that they're evergreen. So check them out. We would appreciate that and welcome you to our Patreon. Today, great episode for you. Here to talk a little West Ham Chester. They are a good friend of ours. They tend to look out for us. They have had some timely wins that benefited us as well over the years. So I've always had a little piece of my heart is a different shade of claret and blue because, you know, I'm wearing a City shirt that shares the colors. I felt like this was my attempt at a peace offering as well. Just like, hey, it's all good. We're all good. They're struggling. They've seemed a little lost, and I am very interested in talking with our guest here for the first time about what they think is going on. Obviously, changing managers a few times, but the players, they have some talented players there. So plenty to talk about. Shady Gang, please give it up for Graeme Howlett. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. I'm very good to be on with you. How are you doing? You good?
Yeah, okay. I'm off of work now. That was mad. I am just glad to be home. I'm gonna get done with this, work on some dinner, sip on some wine, and life is great.
Sounds like a good way to spend the evening.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. The people at the stadium are like, they'll like show a random person who's like reading a book or something, and it's like, that's excessive. Yeah. There's no need to do that.
That's probably the
chairman.
You're
just being
rude. So he doesn't have to watch what goes on the pitch. But no, you're absolutely right. I mean, it just doesn't feel. I mean, I was there for the Olympics and the disabled Olympics, and it was fantastic. It's an absolutely brilliant stadium for those purposes. It's just not a football stadium. You know, you just can't generate that kind of atmosphere as you would in a traditional stadium because it's so vast and you've got this huge hole at the top. All the sounds just goes out, and you know, one side will start a chant and the other side can't follow on because it just
what chant is it?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it's like. And then you've got this whole farcical situation of when you're trying to, you know, you can't even see who's coming on as a substitute because it's so far away. You know, you have people there with binoculars and eyeglasses. Now, this is how ludicrous it is. But you know, we've only got another 89 years of the lease to run, and then we'll be able to find somewhere else to play.
Is that serious?
99-year lease taken out in 2016, which keeps us up there till 21-15. So chances are that myself, my offspring, and probably even their offspring will never see West Ham play at another stadium unless someone comes in and buys a club.
Why sign something like that? That's such an aggressive length.
Yeah.
That's not good for anybody. The reason
they signed it, Crunk, was because it was a good deal for the owners. That's why they signed it. The club initially paid a £2.5 million peppercorn rent to stage their games at the stadium. And it's a situation that isn't ideal for anyone. It's not ideal for West Ham. It's not ideal for the supporters. It's not ideal for the players. It's certainly not ideal for the taxpayer who has to fund, you know, the stadium because it's losing millions of pounds every year, hand over fist. Eventually, I expect that some political moves will be made to sell the stadium on, whether it's to West Ham or another organisation that wants to do something with it. Because it's just losing millions and millions of pounds every year. You know, you talk of white elephants, Well, but we see this all over the world, don't we, with Olympic stadiums? I mean, you've had a couple
Yep.
yourselves over there in the
Yep.
States over the years. But yeah, it's it was a good idea to utilise it, but the problem was it was never intended to be a football stadium after the Olympic Games finished, and that's why we're left with a hodgepodge situation that we are now. It doesn't suit anyone, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean that's how City got the Etihad, was a world competition, and then they're like, hey, we need to use this. City, you want this? And they're like, yeah, great, but obviously there's not a track in between, and they I guess thought about the future in that
Absolutely. Well,
situation.
that was the whole point, wasn't it? Is in the City and the developers were engaged from day one. It was always going to be a football stadium. It was always going to be converted eventually, and so it was erected very much in mind of City going there after the Commonwealth. It was the Commonwealth Games, wasn't it? I think.
Yep, Commonwealth Games.
That didn't happen with West Ham. Sebastian Coe had this wonderful idea of it being an athletic stadium that can be, cohabited by a football team, and you can't have it. It just doesn't work. You get 2 or 3 meetings there a year for athletics, and there's a few hundred people, a couple of thousand people, and it's crazy, for a stadium that size. But this is where we are. There are all sorts of covenants and diktats that ensure that we can't change it, and that lease is solid. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I think even the media in the UK is coming around to the fact that the stadium is awful now, and we're finally sort of getting through. I think they thought it was just West Ham fans complaining for the first few years of it, but I think everyone who goes there says the same. We do a section on kumb.com called the Opposition View, where we get the views of other people's other team supports from their forums. And every single club says that there's always 2 or 3 people in every single game from every club that say, this stadium is rubbish. How can you watch football? But anyway, that's me. I've banged on for.
No, that's fair. No, that's fair.
We've got a football match to talk about, and it's not that.
Oh, well. Quickly enough, we don't have to stay on this other topic unless I'm riveted by the decision. What is underrated?
What is underrated about football? I don't know if anything's underrated about football.
Everything's perfectly rated.
Well, no, I think it's just. I think it's over. I'd say it's overrated, but I'm getting a bit long in the tooth now, so I'm a little bit cynical about those things. I think if anything's underrated about football, it's the grassroots aspect of the game, and how that is so essential to I'm not just talking about here in England in the UK, but all around the world, and especially in stateside. It was a grassroots game for many years before it's really taken off. Predominantly with women as well, which is interesting. Women and girls, wasn't it? We really took it up mainly and until the last few years. But I would say the effect of grassroots football is probably underrated because it's so important. It's so vital to get kids out playing, especially these days when there's so many other influences and things for kids to do. Whether it's sitting in front of a console or whatever, or PC playing games or whatever. I'm not saying we used to do that 30 years ago, so it's not much has changed. But I think there's more choice now these days. But yeah, it's really important. I think grassroots is probably the most underrated aspect of football, and they it's where all the players come from. Whether it's a Brazilian lad kicking a ball on a beach, or a boy from Atlanta kicking a ball against a wall, or someone in London, whatever, they all start doing the same things. And it's those clubs and those first steps that are really so vital, I think, in ensuring the game is as popular and continues to be as popular as it is around the world.
Here, I love that. It's exactly, it's easy to get kind of lost in the blur of like the Premier League and things like that. And there was like a break going on when I visited because I wanted to check out some lower league games and I wasn't able to do that. So that is something that is very high on my list. I try to go to local other MLS, USL, those things around here, and it's fun. But I've always wanted to experience a third, fourth, fifth tier English match, and just the energy and everything. So
it's a completely different experience. It really is.
yes.
It's not sanitized. You can probably swear a little bit and get away with it a little bit